How are you?
Okay, and you?
I'm doing well. And then just like last time, we'll have classrooms be popping in whenever they are ready, like as we speak. So I'll still introduce you both. So Stacy and Juan from Rochester Financial Empowerment Center, and they're going to be talking about financial goal setting today. And every classroom does have all the handouts, so they can be following that as well.
Okay,
And
sounds
then if
good.
you guys need to share the screen, you are allowed. So the floor is yours.
Okay.
Juan, you want to go first?
Yes. Okay, so good morning. My name is Juan from Rochester Financial Empowerment Center. And I wanted to talk today to you and give you the opportunity to consider financial goal setting. Right, that is something that is sometimes it's foreign. We don't know how to approach it, and it becomes a little difficult. So you all have your handouts, so we can follow as I speak. Um, so there is something very important about that we should consider when we're going to set our financial goals, be it short term, be it long term. Um, and that is a little rule called the 50-30-20 rule. Okay. And you would say, whoa, I never heard of that. So I hadn't heard of it before either. So, as we learn more and more and try to help our clients. So the 50-30-20 rule, basically what it does, it helps us divide our income. So in a perfect world, right? We're in COVID, so it's not a perfect world. So in a perfect world, 50% of our income should be dedicated to needs. So what are they? Mortgage, rent, RD&E, groceries, all those sorts of things. And I'm talking about 50% of the wage that we get for a month. And 30% should be then dedicated to our wants. So what are that? So that would apply to our financial goals or those things that I want to have. I want to have a new microwave because the one I gotta bang it 3 or 4 times before it takes off. I want a new TV, or I got to get tires for my car, things like that. Okay, um, and within that 30, also you would allot for the long-term goals, right? Of course, sometimes because the wage is there, it disappears very quickly as things pop up. Then you have the 20. The 20 is 20% of your income, which will be for savings. And usually that's the part that we use most for the long-term goals. So I want to buy a house. So the first time home buyer program says that I need to have $1,500. So I have to start saving for that, and I can't have $1,500 in 2 months. So then, we set a longer term goal, maybe in a year or that. So let's go right into question number one. What are my financial goals? Okay. And let's think about this. Let's think of first, what are my short-term goals? And then we'll talk about and think about what are my long-term goals. And so we can start the conversation around this. Anybody have any questions at this point? I think we should then try to, in our minds, start drawing out, and maybe in a piece of paper or something. Okay, let me put my first. That it's a good habit to just write things down, because then when you write, your mind is capturing, is seeing what you're writing, and as in when I was in education, they always taught us that, you write, you see what you're writing, you're thinking it, and it comes back through your eyesight and it stays in your memory. So So you write down your little short-term goals and write down your long-term goals. Things that are more costly. Like for example, if I want to buy a car, I that's not a couple of bucks. If I want to buy a good car, obviously, I want to finance a car. I want to have a nice car. I'm tired of fixing my old car that's breaking down every 3 minutes. So therefore, that's a larger expense, such as a house, also. So it's something to think about.
And keep in mind too, everybody, we're all family. There's nothing, to be
Yeah.
worried about. Definitely, we just want to engage and see, what everybody's thoughts are. What are your short-term goals? What are some of your long-term goals? Because I think that's definitely important for everyone just to sit down and relax and just like, all right, let me just have a moment, just say have a moment of looking at what are my short-term goals, what are my long-term goals. I speaking from experience, I tried the first time home buyers club twice. I had the opportunity. So the first time I wasn't ready. I thought I was ready. I tried to save, way back when, 19 something. I say something at the time, I took out the money, thought I could replace it. I just definitely wasn't ready. And then the time frame of it, I said, you know what? After all this, I'm tired of renting. Let me just put all my, thoughts, all my extra money into saving for this house. With at the time it was called the First Time Home Buyers Club. Now it's the Dreamers program. But it took some sacrifice. It definitely took some eating noodles, just on the grind, something small, just to think about, hey, this is what my future, I want my future to look like. The process did take long. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It wasn't a walk in the park. It was not. I definitely had to clean up a lot of stuff on my credit report, you know, just so I can go in to purchasing a house with less debt. So less debt you have equate to bigger house. I didn't want a bigger house at the time. I still don't want a bigger house. That's more cleaning for me. But we think about, hey, this is what I want. And with that being said, it took me, I don't know, about 3 years. If I really think back time, the savings portion, and then the savings, then finding a house. I went through, I don't know, over 30 plus houses looking for something. So we think about these things. So I think it's something that and it may necessarily not be somebody else's goal, but for me, I can just speak for experience. For me, it took a process. So just writing down the goals and knowing what your financial, what your long-term goals will be, I think is definitely important. So
Right.
come on, everybody.
Yep.
I want some feedback. We got a whole hour to get this. So let's we want some questions. That's why I had to bring the big dog Juan in, so and he's a Spanish speaker. So come on. We if you're
Yeah.
talking Spanish, that is okay. Juan can handle it. So let's
Yeah.
go with the questions.
Yeah. And piggybacking off Stacy, it took me 3 years too. So as you can see, it is not an easy process to get a house. And some 30 plus houses that's searching, and then no, that's not the one. I need a 2-car garage. I need 4 bedrooms. So it was a challenge. Um, I'm sorry, Gina was on.
Hi.
Hi,
Hello.
Gina.
Hello, class. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Yes. So I was wondering, just to clarify for the students, could you maybe explain a little bit more the difference between short-term and long-term goals, with some examples for them?
Okay. So, do you want to do it, Stacey, or should
No,
I?
you nope. Go ahead, Juan.
So a short-term goal is something that's and Stacy's going to talk to us a little bit about how to determine that in the next slide. But basically, a short-term goal is something that I can achieve within maybe 6 months to a year at the max. Something that can be attainable and achievable during that time frame. So an example, a lot of people go like, oh man, I've been wanting to my TV, the it goes on and off. And I've been wanting to get a TV so we can sit in the living room, everybody as a family, and watch, our programs together. But, I don't have the money. TVs are expensive. So then you start putting away some money, or you might have like thinking of, oh, I heard that in January, the government is going to give us $600 on and a stimulus check. So a lot of people thought of that, said, okay, so I'll wait till then. It's September. I'll wait till January. So it's a 3 months more or less time frame. I'll have the money and I can acquire that TV that I want to get for us as a family. So things like that, maybe your microwave is dying. And then been there, done that. So anyway, and all of a sudden, okay, I don't have a lot of money, but it's there's some specials at Walmart maybe, or wherever. I can't say Sears anymore because that's gone. So anyway, so at Walmart, so let's or at Best Buy, and I think I can get one for under $100. Boom. Then we'll look at that, but you might say, oh no, but I want a good microwave that'll last me for the long haul. So maybe it's a little more money. So you start, that's what savings are for, short-term savings, I call them, so for that specific. That's why sometimes I recommend to my clients, if you have short and long-term goals and you're saving for that, not relying on a stimulus check or whatever, or on your tax return. So have two savings account. In a federal credit union, you can do that. You can have a checking and two savings. And then this saving is for the short terms and this saving is for the long terms. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody
Juan,
else?
would
Go
you
ahead.
like to share the screen so everybody can see
Yes.
what we're talking about? I know they have the piece of paper in front of them, but if you don't mind, we can
Yep.
do it that way. Yes.
Okay, let me where do I go? I'm trying to find. Oh, let me do this. Give me a second. There we go. And how I can't find the share screen here. Am I missing something? Oh, there it is. Found it. One. Share. Okay. So here we go. Here's our little nifty. Can everybody see the little handout that we?
Yes, we can see
Okay.
it.
Okay. Cool. So we talked about the 50-30-20 rule. So are there any other questions around or doubts around short-term or long-term goals? What they, what will be considered that type of goal? Are there any other questions around that? Okay, so let's move on. I'm gonna move it up to Stacy's intervention now. Go ahead, Stacy.
Thank you for that, Juan. So now we're going to look at the SMART, what we call will be like the SMART portion of it. And these are different things that you think about with the SMART, just setting goals. So S, I would see Pacific, let it be Pacific, let it be known. Like I say, for me, at the time when I was purchasing a house, all right, I had a Pacific goal that I was trying to reach. M, I would see that's measurable. What's your time frame? The A, whew, I really can't see that one is attainable. I want to say attainable on there, is my time frame attainable? I went in, thinking I'm going to get a house after, I'll just say 2 years, because, the time frame of it, I went through 10 months, I'm thinking, a couple months after that, I should be able to find a house. And it didn't happen that way. So we just have to be realistic about that. I would see the R. And then I would see the time frame. It seems a little blurry for whatever reason. I was able to read it before, but so we think about these different things, when we're trying to look at our long-term goals versus our short-term goals. And like I say, it's like you're targeting something. All right, so hey, who wants to go on vacation? Somebody got to talk to me because I feel like we're just talking to ourselves at this point. I need somebody ask a question. I did see something in the chat. It's paying off that part of the 20, and I believe Juan can answer that question there.
Right. So when you're saving for a specific goal, that's why I mentioned the two accounts, because sometimes you might have your emergency account. So an emergency savings is more something that an account that you have for where, God forbid, you lose your job, okay? And like it's happened to a lot of people during this COVID situation. Um, and that is to hold you off until you can get another job. So usually the recommendation is about a month's worth of salary put into that specific account for that type of emergency. Also, the emergency savings can be like, oh no, oh no. So now I have a house and my water heater broke. Ah, so there you go, crisis time. And I don't have, I had, because I did this house purchase, my score dropped, so now I won't be able to get credit to be able to do that. So you need to rely on something that's that's there, and that will be the emergency savings. But then you open up a secondary account, a savings account for that specific goal. I'm dying to go back to PR. I haven't been to Puerto Rico since 2015 when my mother died, passed away, and so I've been saving for that. I've been putting money away. I have, in my case, I have a Bank of America account and an ESL account. So that's my example, right? So I have the Bank of America is sort of like my emergency savings, and then the ESL is the one that I use for my specific goals, and that's what I'm doing. I'm putting money away there so that I can reach and acquire that goal of going on vacation with the family, because it's myself, my wife, my grandson, my daughter, so it's a lot of expense. So those sorts of things, does anybody have or has is for you, is there some type of goal that's coming to mind that you would like to share, you know because we might be saying setting goals here, and you go like, oh, that has nothing to do with my goal. Share it with us. Let us know what things you would want to be able to save for, so
You can either speak up or write it in the group chat, 'cause I
yeah,
know
you can put
some
it in the
just
chat
don't have
and
the
we'll talk
microphone.
about it. Okay, so I'll pass it over to Stacy again so she can keep
Oh,
talking
come on,
about
people. I know somebody
smart.
got a burning question.
Yeah.
So setting goals, definitely setting goals. Obviously, the SMART goal setting, obviously is achievable. Is it realistic? The timing of it too. Um, so, oh, okay, somebody would like to buy a house, so because hey, you want to buy a house, what's your time frame? What does your credit report looks like? We can definitely somebody wants to say to make the screen bigger. I'm not sure if we can. I believe everybody have the handout, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me see if I can do this. Give me a
Okay.
second. Bum bum bum. Where is it? Where are you? Layout. Come on. Oh my gosh, sorry. Slower than molasses here. Okay, sorry about that. I'm trying to find my little there. Nope. Insert design. Where are you? I know that there's do, 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 do. Ah, sorry, this thing is getting in the way. Here we go. View, there it is. Come on. kind of gets blurry, but does that look a little better?
Yes, and like we said, they do all have the handouts in person as well.
Yeah, okay. So
Okay.
here you go.
Okay. Thank you.
You let me know if I have to move it up or not,
Just a
Stacy.
little bit. Yep, just a little bit. Okay. So the person who wants to buy a house, what's your time frame? We look at time frame, like I say, Juan and I, like I say, took about that 3 years time frame. So you just want to, make sure, that your time frame, is it realistic? I want to buy a house tomorrow. Some people say, hey, I want to do it now. I'm tired of renting. I get it. But does your credit report reflects that? Does your work history reflects that? So, and does your savings reflect that as well? So those are different things like the banks will look at. Like I say, speaking from experience, I thought when I was just faxing over all the information that it's going from my fax to theirs to right in the trash. Because I felt like I was just, just sending over documents and they just wasn't reading them and just going right in the garbage. So be prepared. I know time frame, they probably gotten a little better nowadays, but be prepared for your taxes. They'll look at the last past 2 to 3 years of your income taxes. They're going to look at your bank statements. Is there anything awkward out of it, as in did you have some extra money coming into your account, making different deposits? So they just want to see all your transactions. Are they consistent? Are your pay stubs consistent? So obviously getting a mortgage is not just like getting an apartment. Oh, I'll just stay here for a year, then I move. No, minimum. Most of the home purchases are at least 30 years. Some people are brave enough to do the 15 to 20 years, but I did a 30-year mortgage, and it's a lot, to sign. It's definitely a lot, because they're looking at the long haul. Is this person worthy, credit worthy? In a sense, I can say, hey, I want to buy a house all day, but does my credit report reflects that? So they look at for a minimum, I say bare minimum is like a 620, but nowadays they want you to be at least a 660. They give or take, like I say, between that 620 to 660, but most banks prefer a 660 credit score. So let's keep that in mind as well. And keep in
Mhm.
mind, we are here to offer free counseling sessions. I can't emphasize enough free. Like the commercial, free. It's all free. And we definitely will help you with that. So
That's a
keep that.
good price, Stacy. Free?
Yes,
That's a good price.
definitely.
I like that price.
Definitely free. Definitely be able to get you, to where you need to be. We're definitely here to help, for staff members, for all the students, whoever, it doesn't, necessarily have to just be for the students in the classroom, also for the staff as well. Not trying to
Yeah.
put anybody on the spot, but we're definitely here to help anybody to reach their goals. So just keep that in mind. Juan, could you just move up just a slide just a little bit? I think it's
Mhm.
just B.
Okay, be right there.
Yep. So are these goals realistic? So, like I say, want to buy a house tomorrow? Is that realistic? Are you ready? Just definitely want you to be financially ready. Have your mindset to be ready, like I'm going in, because there's no calling, hey, I can't call Juan. Juan, my lawnmower is not working. My grass needs to be cut. My refrigerator's having some issues. I'm the landlord now. So because I'm the landlord, I have to make sure that these things are done when we purchase a house. So keep that in mind, just getting those achievable. And can I obtain this mortgage as well? Most now say nowadays they have been putting the taxes and insurance included in with the mortgage, which I can honestly say it helps. it definitely helps, so you don't have to worry about the taxes coming out, quarterly. So just keep that in mind. So I want to hear some questions. Please put it in more in the chat. We want to talk. We want engagement here. So please have some questions, is everybody still waking up? Somebody need coffee? I can't offer you coffee right now because I'm not there. I got some water with me, but we want questions, we're all family here. So don't think that no question, is above, beneath anybody. So, and
One
does your,
teacher, one
go
teacher
ahead.
did ask, does your service include teaching how to budget? I know a lot of classrooms had questions on how to do budgeting more than the list of this is what I want, and that's where it ends.
Yes, go ahead, Juan.
Okay, I was gonna say, okay, so I'm gonna present the scenario in that aspect. So we have a lot of clients come in. The other day I had a client. The client comes up to me and we start the session. It's the very first session, and I speak to them of our the 4 pillars of our program, which are credit, debt, savings, and banking. So those are the 4 things we work at. So within the counseling session, I also explain, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to create a budget for you. Why? Because when you go we're talking about first time home buying, right? Which is a big, big, big goal. It's like the biggest goal you can have, or start a business or whatever. So I said, so we're going to create a budget for you, because one of the things we have to show the underwriter, that's the person that decides that if they're going to give you the mortgage loan or not, that person wants to see that you have what's called mortgage affordability. So your income versus your expenses monthly will tell them, okay, there's cash flow at the end of the month, so this person can pay this mortgage every single month. Okay, and then the cash flow, the extra money that you have at the end of the month, you can work with that for any maintenance on the home. So the person comes in and says, oh, I want to buy a house. I need to get out of my apartment in 3 months. So, okay, so we go through the counseling session. When we get to the credit report, the score is at 500 something. And all of a sudden, okay, so now that's an issue, because what did Stacey say? They want a 660. So that is a deterrent. Okay. And then there was like 5 collections. Okay. So what happens? There are 2 things that are going to stop. The underwriter is going to stop the mortgage process immediately, which is, if there's collections, no go. You have to show that you've already worked with those collections and paid them, and that your score is at a 660 or above. So if those things are not in place, immediately no go. So I had to confront this person with the reality. It's not achievable at this moment, and you're not going to be able to do it in 3 months, unfortunately. It's very, very, very difficult. You have to be like, have the money available to take care of all those collections, which was, sometimes collections can be thousands of dollars. So, and I don't have that. So that's what Stacey's talking about in the achievable. I wanted to chime in on, piggyback on what she's saying. So, I'll leave it to you guys, because if not, I'll talk like forever.
I know France just raised her hand, so I'm sure she has a question for the class.
Go ahead.
Hi. So
Hello.
one of my students wants to know the best place to put savings. Is it best in a savings account, in some kind of property, or stocks and bonds, like those sorts of investments?
You want to chime in on that one, Stacey?
That's a definitely good question. I would say definitely a good question. I will start off small. I could be say wrong here. Just start off with a savings account. Investing. I do have a financial advisor, to be honest with you, to handle, but I didn't, for me, I can only speak from experience for myself. I started off, after I purchased my house, a couple savings, and then I went to an investor. So I would start off with a savings account, put it in the bank account to show, this is um, my sacrifice. Hey, I start off small. Let's start off, $25. That's just what I started off with, but you could definitely start off a little bit sooner. Or, I mean, I'm sorry, more money than normal, but you're looking at your time frame. You're looking at your, all right, what is my time frame of looking at something like that? So it all depends on what you're trying to do as well. So investments, we touch upon that briefly, we always used to say refer out. But for me, I would definitely say starting off with a savings account just to show, I do have that ability to save. You want to finish it up, Juan?
Right. And the thing is that when it comes to investments, a lot of times uh, it's not liquid. You can't just go in there and you have a property, you put it in, and then all of a sudden now I want to use that money towards my house. Necessarily, you might not be able to, to do that, or turn it into cash quickly. So having a savings definitely would be the first step. Savings shows that you have what we call assets. So that's an asset. I have a savings account. Oh, by the way, I have about $2,000 in checking, even though that's something that I might use. That's another asset. I have a 401k. Of course, that's not something I can use readily. I can possibly take a loan off of it, but it's not something that will be available really quickly. So that's things to think about those, how if you want for a specific goal, you want to be able to have the money or the funds available as quickly as possible if you have a short time frame. If you have a longer time frame, then you take your time with it and then work with investments and things like that. Does that make sense?
And also here we do have a question in the chat. Are there any grant programs to help supplement with home renovations? Yes, there are definitely programs out there. And there's also the First Time Home Buyers Club, which now, like I say, it's called the Dreamers Program. It just started May 3rd. And I want to say it'll go maybe August. They'll reevaluate things to see, how many people are buying houses. Do we need to extend this program more? So it's so much more into it. That's where we're able to get you involved with the banks, but there are programs out there that will help you do renovations as well. So come talk to us. That 252-7110 number is definitely live. We definitely have our client support to schedule an appointment to get you those, what you're looking to meet those financial goals. So I want to hear from everybody, what everybody else is thinking about. So yes, there are grants available out there. So let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know.
I want to give them another number. So our contact center personnel you can reach them at 585-546-3440. And that way you can speak to a live person. Because sometimes you call the 252 number and you leave a voicemail. So it'll take us a little bit until we can get back to you. But there you have somebody live. They'll take care of you. They'll set up your appointment and we're good to go.
Everybody's quiet here. I feel like it's we can hear Cosmos today. Come on,
are we that good, Stacy, that everybody's understanding?
Yep. And we can put it also in the chat. We'll put both numbers in the chat. So I'm doing that right now. 7110 or 546 3440. So the 252-7110, it just alerts them to say, hey, this is a FEC call, the Financial Empowerment Center, or the 546-3440 number. That's I would say both numbers are our client support. They'll be able to assist you. So sometimes, like Juan said, the 252 number may give you a voicemail, but the the 546 number, you'll definitely speak with, live person for both. So just definitely give them a call. And it's 2 other counselors. So we do have another Spanish speaking person as well. So Juan and Karen, they're the 2 Spanish speaking people. So, and so if you everyone don't know, Juan and I, we were at Oasis, so we just waiting, for for us to come back in the building to assist. So we're definitely in the building. Hopefully by, I don't know, fall. Say hopefully by the fall, we'll definitely be in the building. But we're definitely there to help out. Questions, concerns, let us know. We're definitely here to help you. And like I said, Juan is a Spanish speaking, person. So like I say, even if you want to talk Spanish today, he'll understand that. So ask questions.
You do have,
Go ahead. I'm
you
sorry.
do have translators for other languages, correct?
Yes, that's what I was gonna speak about. We, if anybody feels more comfortable in their own language and it's not Spanish or English, then we can get a translator service to help us with that session. So that's available too. And sí, para ustedes que hablan español, pues entonces yo estoy disponible. Karen Delgado es la otra consejera que habla también español, así que le podemos asistir en su propio idioma, ¿ok? Ok. ¿Preguntas? Questions? So, when we look at this 50-30-20 rule, and I hope this made sense to us today, because it's something that at the beginning I had to read into when I first heard about it, is my goal a part of this 50-30-20 rule? And mind you, there are some of us that might be, okay, wait a minute, but like my needs take up almost 75% or more of my income. Okay, that could be your reality. And that's what we as counselors do. We work with you to try, that's why we create a budget, to try and see, okay, where can I be more effective with my income so that then I can close the gap and then get closer to that 50-30-20 rule so I can reach those goals. Okay, so anybody have a question on that?
Don't be shy. We're definitely here to have questions. We had.
And I'm bad with the chat, so I leave that to Stacy.
You're definitely fine there. So we wanted to know your questions. Don't feel that your question is just something small. We just want to hear. We're just ready to chat. But if you feel more comfortable speaking one-on-one, we're definitely here to assist that too. But definitely want everybody to feel comfortable just to ask the question. We don't bite. I promise. We don't bite.
Sí.
We don't bark. We don't have a big bark. So we do have questions. We do have answers for you. So let us know. Let us know what some of the goals are. Thank you for the person who did say they're looking to purchase a house. So thank you for that question and all the other questions that we had in the chat with the budget as well and the grants. So let us know what other questions we got.
No tengan temor en hablar en su idioma, el español o el castellano, y hacer sus preguntas. No hay ninguna pregunta equivocada. Toda pregunta es válida. All questions, there are no wrong questions. There's just questions that haven't been asked. Solamente hay preguntas que no se han hecho. Y eso es lo que queremos hacer aquí. Si no tenemos la respuesta, la vamos a buscar y se la vamos a hacer llegar.
One
Great
question is,
No, go ahead, Hannah, go ahead.
what are the income guidelines for grant programs?
That's
also
excellent.
a great question as well. There are income guidelines, so they'll go according to income and family size. I'm not sure exactly what the dollar amount may be. Juan, do you know we'll just take the first time home buyers club. Do you know the income?
I was under the impression that it was 56,000 for one person adult, one income in the household, and 70 for two. But recently I was in a oh my gosh, in a workshop for first-time home buyers. I was participating, and the person from M&T explained to me that right now in the Dream Buyer program, it's 66 for the household. So that's gross. So that's before taxes. Okay. So para explicarlo en español, el ingreso mínimo como el máximo requerido para un Home Buyer Dream Program es 66,000 sueldo, lo que le llaman bruto, que es antes de que saquen los impuestos y todo eso. Así que para el hogar, $66,000 en ingreso bruto es lo que ellos piden como máximo. ¿Ok?
So definitely great question. Definitely great
Yeah.
question, because it's definitely good to know, obviously, how much was the guidelines for that. So thank you for
Yeah,
asking that
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Come on, we need more. We need a little couple more. We need
I
more.
have a question for myself, and I'm sure it pertains to others as well, is college. How do you prepare to save for college, regardless of how much it is and what school you're going to? It's always going to be at least a couple $1,000s, and that's something that you have to prepare for. You can't just throw that money away at once.
And thank you for Hannah for bringing that question up. It is so hard to say, hey, my child's going to go to this college. Just I'm going to, when you start off younger, they have the 529, or just start building, small. That's where those sometimes investments will come in per se, but it's tricky, but what if today, all right, you say you want to go to school, there are federal loans out there that will assist families with that, and I just being a student loan counselor, I can definitely speak on per se half of the parent and half of the student, and I encourage the student actually to take out the loans only because they look at the parents. So the parents, parents are supposedly, let's say quotation, are established. So because parents are established, what if hard times come? Obviously, because you're a little bit more established than your child is. All right, my income, all right, is X amount of dollars. But as a student, you don't make no money. So the overall picture, it helps the student more so than it helps the parent, only because the timing, only because of the income portion. There's more programs that's available out there for the students. You get the 10%, 15% for the student, versus the parents, they're looking at their income at 20%. So, first, say you do the math on that, you just want to make sure that everything is going okay with that. So just keep that in mind, with the student loans, starting to prepare for it. What if you're trying to look at it on a, I don't know, next year, we'll just say next year, look at the cost of the school that they're trying to go to. Can I potentially start saving this amount of money up, for that? So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about those student loans, and, always look for the student first. I just say suggest always a student, because you're not going to make, starting off more, than obviously the parents are being a little bit more established than everybody, than the student. So just keep that in mind. So, it's so hard for us to get into school. So that's why, I love just having these series that we can talk about it, and just getting parents prepared for that. So just keep that in mind, just looking at the school. We don't know what our kids going to do, what school they try to go to, and look at, there's a lot of scholarships out there. So we have to also tap into those too. I want to say on the website, SUNY, I can get the website, but they do have they're specific to that school itself. So looking at those scholarships, looking at all different scholarships, you know, they're out there, and it's a little work. Obviously, you're gonna have to do a little bit of work for that too, as far as writing papers, you know, submitting supporting documentation that will support that. But just keep that in mind that there's options for scholarships as well.
Yeah. And I think that's very important because a lot of the people that we counsel, they come to us and they say, oh, my student loans. When you look at student loans, they have 40, 50 or more $1,000 of debt in student loans. So you're kind of like paying like forever, you know, for for after you graduated, you got a good job, but now your money's going towards that. So any grant that's out there, especially if you're considered a minority, there's a lot of grants out there. The thing is, it's work. It's work because we have to fill out applications and then maybe kind of do a little essay on why I'm asking for this grant. But it's worthwhile because you don't want to start working and have $120,000 of debt hanging over your head as soon as you start working. Okay, so that's very important. And as parents, like right now, I have a grandson, 2 years old, so I'm starting to put away money. There are the federal credit unions, especially here in Rochester. They have I forgot what the name of the account is, but it's a specific account for future studies. You know how, you know,
529.
the 529, that's the number. I was confused. I knew it was a 500, but I didn't remember which one. So the 529 accounts, you start putting money there, so you're setting them up for success when they start their studies. And as a parent, you're showing them, look, I'm investing in your future, so therefore all I want from you is that you can use that. You know, I do. I use that and I say, okay, when they're, well, this guy's 2 years old, so I can't talk to him about that yet. But when I'm able to, I'm going to talk to him about it. I'm going to say, look, we're investing in your future. Your mother, your grandmother, and I are investing in your future, and all we ask of you is to try and apply yourself in school so that then you can use this money towards that, because that's what it's for. You know, so things like that, you know. And sometimes I know of parents that haven't told their children and there was that money there and they still got all these loans. So, oh brother, you know. So that's those are little things that we need. Like, those are the long term goals, you see. You know, uh, I don't want my child or my grandchild to go through what I went through. You know, I was never able to finish college. You know, that sort of scenario. You know, so how do we do it as responsible parents? We kind of try to set them up for success. Another thing is also long-term goals could investments that falls under that, because I heard a question here about that, you know. So people have asked me, and then people, when you go to these companies that dedicate themselves to that, they when you open up the page, it's, oh, you need to start with $50,000. Like, what? I don't have that type of money. But going back to the federal credit unions here in Rochester, they have accounts where you can start off, like Stacy was saying, 25 bucks, you know, and a couple of dollars here and there, and build it up, you know. So, and then they'll start putting them in investment portfolios and things like that. Long-term goals. Anybody else? Don't be shy. There's no wrong questions. No tengan temor. No hay preguntas tontas. Solo preguntas que no se hacen.
Come on, I know we've already got some questions. What's those burning questions that you want to ask?
Mhm. I think we go teach at Oasis because we're pretty good, Stacy. You know, we answer everything before they even
Yeah.
ask them.
Yeah, there, it's all good. It's all good there. It's all good. So don't
Yeah.
worry, like I say, we're definitely here to help you a one-on-one, financial counseling. We don't let anybody know, hey, Juan counsel with CCC, with FEC or CCCS. No, we will not discuss your information at all. It is private. It is personal. It's a one-on-one counseling session. So the whole world will not know that Juan counsel with myself. So it's all definitely confidential. So we definitely keep that confidential. So we're big on that. So you don't have to worry. Your information is stored safe. So we just want to, engage, with everybody, just knowing, where they're at financially, because we do have a one-on-one, when you meet with us, it could be like a year you stay with us, or it could just be a one time, what, I just want to see where I'm at, maybe to see, how am I doing, right now? What am I facing? Yes, I'm in school right now. I am working. What can I do different? Hey, it could just be, we go back to that budgeting. Hey, stop eating out all the junk food in the vending machine, and say that, bring that extra, instead of purchasing, I'll say all those things in the vending machine. Hey, let's look at what I can buy in bulk, and I can just bring it as a snack to school. So these are just different tips that we can, give. It's endless. I keep saying it's endless of the possibilities of what we talk about with the banking, with the savings, with the credit, with the debt, help, with building, hey, what if, you're just starting out, you're just fresh out of high school, I have one now, just fresh, just started college. Hey, I can't pull my credit report. You don't have any debt. So now start to build savings. So, and it helps, obviously, just knowing, hey, this is what I want my future to look like. Doesn't matter the age. It does not matter the age. You could be 50 years old, just trying to go back to school. Who knows, whatever your goals are, but we're just here to help you along the way. We call us the side cheerleaders, on the side. So we help you, to build that budget. We help you to have that savings. We help you to manage your credit, manage a budget, and just to help you figure out how to understand your credit report just a little bit more. And what is credit? We talked about that in the last series, but we're definitely here to help you with all your questions, and just to meet your financial goals. So it's okay. I know everybody's still waking up, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We're still definitely here to help.
Yep.
Yes, and
And go ahead.
go ahead. No, go.
Okay. No, I was gonna say that when you look at the privacy, so let's say um, we received a referral from Oasis for you. Guess what? They're not even gonna find out if you even counseled with us unless you tell them. You're the only one authorized to tell them, not us. And so we're very specific and strict about that. Our client service agreement explains that, how we protect your information, that is totally confidential. And I call it a financial HIPAA law, basically, sort of thing. And with so many scammers out there, so many companies that offer you like, oh, we'll get rid of all your debt. I just counseled a couple of days ago a person that was in one of those companies, sadly, and after 2 years, nothing had happened. And I was sending $89 every single month. Oh my God, and my score went all the way down. So where you can see us, when the doors open up, we'll be at Oasis in the office, and then you can sit down with us and do a counseling session, so you can put a name to a face to the name. And so we're here in Rochester. We're not, God knows where. I'm
California,
from. Yeah, like, oh, okay.
Florida.
Yeah, this person, I don't know where they're from. So there you go. So that's what we're all about, and working for our community. And like Stacy said, Stacy and I and the other counselors, we're gonna be your fans, okay, in your financial goals.
Yes, and just to reiterate what you said about the confidentiality, even when our students go down to the volunteers and have them help sign up, we're not notified. We have no idea. So it could be 15, it could be 5 people. We have no idea. It's all confidential. So do not worry about that. But if you want to come to us, we would love that, but there's no pressure and it's okay to do it. This is your personal business and we respect that. And same with you.
There you go. Awesome.
So
Okay.
I just wanted to thank you guys so much. I'm sure we'll have people coming in later today and tomorrow trying to sign up. But thank you very much. It was incredibly informative. And like I said, everyone has the handouts, so use them. You know, that's what they're here for, right? For your notes, to do your budgeting, just to, like you said, Juan, writing it down is that next step. And there's studies that show if you write it down, it's more likely to happen. So even if
Yeah.
it seems silly writing it down,
Yeah.
it's a reminder and it truly does work.
Yeah. And in the digital world that we're living in, where everything is digitized, we're losing that. Like I have people that tell me like, when my system is down, I do, this is your calculation. And they go like, how do you do that? I said, I don't need a calculator. I learned to write numbers and calculate them that. So we need to kind of go back to that old school type of thing so that it'll help us to reach those goals. That's why we struggle with those goals. Thank you for that.
Well, I just wanted to thank you guys again. And like I said, I'm
Okay.
sure people will be coming down and asking for more questions. So prepare for
Yeah.
that. But
Thank you.
thank you so much for presenting. It was
Okay.
Definitely. Thank you
incredibly
for
It's
having
our
us.
pleasure.
and needed.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're missing Oasis a whole bunch.
I know,
Right,
fingers
Stacy?
crossed.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed in the
yeah,
fall.
Right.
Yeah,
Probably by
there
the
you-
fall.
Yep. There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
we'll definitely be back in the building. So thank you, for everybody who asked all the questions in the chat. So we definitely appreciate that. And thank you for allowing us to come into your classrooms to give us presentation. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for all of for welcoming us. Period. Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you very much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You too. Okay.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.